Hello, welcome to Standing for Your Book Reviews. As usual, I'm Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of A Short Stay in Hell by Stephen L. Peck. This is a book from 2011 from Strange Violin Editions, and it's a fantasy horror, I guess. First of all, great publisher name. That's so cool, Strange Violin. Secondly, my brother bought this for me for Christmas last year randomly. I had never heard of it, and I finally got around to reading it. I think my brother heard of it via the TikTok because he is 18 years younger than me. He's my half brother. And so he is obviously on the TikTok, and I am not because I am old. So I'm going to preface this book review, though, by saying that I am as atheist and anti-theologically minded as they come. I don't care about religion. I think it's boring. Having to sit through a church ceremony of any kind is my idea of hell. I just am like, I don't care at all about any of this. I only celebrate Christmas because of my family, like my kids and my husband like it. Honestly, if I was a single lady, I wouldn't celebrate it at all, probably. Anyway, I'm not trying to offend anybody. I will defend anyone's right to religious freedom, because I think that that's a right you should have, as long as it doesn't involve persecuting others. My opinion on the matter is you do you. But I just wanted to say all this to say that I did not go into this book with any kind of religious ideation behind it. I wasn't going into it with any kind of preconceived notions of what to expect. I was actually kind of hesitant because it kind of revolves around I guess Christianity in a sense, and I'm like, I don't know, is this going to be religious? But actually, I found this book really fascinating. So first of all, before I get into the review, what is this book about that I've been talking about already for 2 minutes? As a faithful Mormon, Soren Johansen has always believed he'll be reunited with his loved ones in an eternal hereafter. Then he dies. Soren wakes to find himself cast by a god he has never heard of into a hell whose dimensions he can barely grasp, a vast library he can only escape from by finding the book that contains the story of his life. Very short, just like the book. This book has sat with me since I finished reading it. For such a short book, there is so much going on. It's very thin. There are imagery and concepts that are very rich, and above all, the book is a commentary on human nature and our inability to exist without competition. We just can't be collaborative, it seems. I would be tempted to quote Sartre here and say hell is other people, but he himself argued against this idea, stating that he meant the phrase, he meant it conditionally, that it's our feeling judged by others, our caring too much what others think, that is the hell. We ourselves make the hell by caring what others think too much. Then again, that gets us into the whole there's nothing outside the text and or death of the author argument. I'm not going to get into that. Hell in this book, I will argue, is other people, in a literal sense, in that they're the worst humanity has to offer, or there's someone you fall in love with whom you lose. You just can't have nice things in hell. I didn't mention that this book is based off of The Library of Babel by Borges. So if you know that short story, you will recognize it. You probably recognize it from when I read the back cover blurb, but just in case you're thinking that I didn't know that, I do. I can't really talk too much more about this book without spoilers, but if you want something incredibly dense but easy to follow, deep yet sort of absurd, this book is definitely worth your time. It's a devastating story, quite frankly, as would be a story about hell. In terms of critique, the women characters were rather underwritten, and the idea that Soren was in the white people only area of hell as a metaphor for lack of diversity being hellish didn't really land. But those two things didn't really distract me from the larger concepts and imagery that I found interesting. You could totally kind of tear that apart if you read this book, and that's fine. You can do that too on your own channel. Okay, so spoilers past this part. I'm going to get a little bit deeper into some things I found interesting. Now, this is obviously from Borges, but the fact that the library contains every single infinite book ever written, with most of it being nonsensical random letters, is absolutely horrifying. All those books, and you can't even read any of them. My hell, indeed. and then the gangs of torturers running around, all of whom are also people, was also terrifying. There are no, other than the demon at the start, who I guess assigns them to their areas. There's no mythological creatures in this book at all. It's all people. So yeah, as I said, hell is other people. But the worst is how it seems the hell was deliberately designed to tear people apart emotionally. The main character has several people over his centuries that he falls in love with or makes a deep connection with, and then they are separated. And because he knows this is the end of the line and how massive the library is, where everything resets that isn't held every night, there's no way to map it. He loses people and he will never ever find them again. And unlike on Earth, when someone dies and you know they're gone, he can't actually grieve these people as he knows they are somewhere, he just can't find them. There's a quote from the book that references this in a way that I can never word as nicely, and I'm going to say it. So, anticipation is a gift. Perhaps there is none greater. Anticipation is born of hope. Indeed, it is hope's finest expression. In hope's loss, however, is the greatest despair. So, yeah, the book is about losing hope, and it's very depressing in that way. One of the coolest things about this book in terms of like the setting is there's a giant pit that runs between the shelves, then you just like fall forever. And the only way you can really stop is that if you have to like crash into the sides and basically break your body to get out of this hole that you're in. It's yeah, I think Soren falls straight for like weeks at one point. I mean, what else can you do? I guess it's an infinite level of library. The book nails the concept of futility and essential dread, yet in the end it's also a meditation on hope, as I mentioned before. It's very thought-provoking. I saw a lot of one-star reviews on this book, and it seems they either missed the point. One person tried to argue it made no sense the characters didn't try to escape, which made me laugh. I'm like, that's not the point of this book. Or they found it boring. The latter, fine, whatever. It is a little dry. The prose felt to me closer to classic sci-fi than modern writing, but I'm also used to that. So, because I read a lot of like classic sci-fi and older texts, so I was like, oh, this is fine. I wondered why there were so many reviews from a book from 2011 that is like a very small press book, and most of these reviews from like a couple years ago. And so, as I mentioned at the start, I guess my brother like probably saw this on TikTok because I guess it was on TikTok. I don't know. I don't know how the youth get their information. Thing is, though, I don't know if you should trust anything from TikTok. Yeah, so just to be clear, I'm not jumping on any kind of bandwagon because I don't even know where the wagon is, let alone what band is playing. But thank you to my brother for the book.